I'm not transsexual. I'm transhuman.
Oh, okay.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin, I'm a geek. You are watching Kevin the Geek, and welcome to Years and Years. So this is a Patreon guaranteed reaction, and this is something that we are basically going to be alternating on a monthly basis. Same how we previously alternated between Dairy Girls and It's a Sin. We've now changed over to Dairy Girls and Years and Years. This is a 6-episode series. I don't really know anything about it. I've sort of briefly looked up like the tiniest synopsis of it, but I don't really know anything about it. So I'm just going to go in completely blind, see what we think. Same. Oh, oh, whoa. An honest politician. That's a strange one. Beep. Yeah. Well.
Yep. Oh, wow. Link. Oh, yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Damn. Oh, God almighty. Never say that to a kid. Cute.
Oh, God. Okay, big time jumps. Ah, most nonchalant way of asking you to marry him. Nice. All right, Terminator. Nice. Says sex fighting class. Oh God. Weirdly, I can imagine that's how the future's going to look. Hmm. No, I love a story. Of course you have. God damn. Ooh, bloody hell. Whoa. Wow. Oh. Boyfriend. I thought you married. Ooh. Ah. Are they setting up some sort of romantic thing with these two? Don't stroke his foot. That's weird. Hmm. So what? Stroking his foot is okay, is it? It's a bit weird. God, they always look back, don't they? Fine. Whatever. That is the perfect way to handle that conversation. Huh? Huh? Maybe that's the wrong way to handle that part of the conversation. um, oh wow. Nice. Okay. Why are you flirting when you're already flirting with another man? Right. Bollocks. Bollocks. There's a difference between an open mind and a. But he's got a point in that one. Yeesh. Hmm. Well, I think people never thought there'd be camera phones at one point. Love that. He said he'd cook. He's ordered pizza. That's how it begins. They've got a Terminator in the cupboard. It's a Cyberman. Oh, there you go. Oh my god. That's weird. It's kind of funny. Wow. Oh god. Bambaleo. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Monster Avian Looney Party. It's reform all over again. Of course he has. It's a bit mean. She's a Time Lord. Oh. Yeesh. Oh. Kids these days. I bet you did. True. To Gran. Ooh. A what? Nice. Of course, they're all on their phones. That's all kids do these days. Swipe, swipe, swipe. like an air raid siren. Um, oh shit. Edith. Ooh. Uh, oh no. Fuck. Oh my God. Oh,
What happens now? What happens now? What happens now?
very good question. What happens now? Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, wow. So much to try and talk about there. So little time to be able to try and talk about everything there. Um, wow. Okay. So we're in this world. So this is effectively 2024. So at the time we record this is about effectively a year ago. It is definitely, I think, that we're sort of both a bit more advanced in terms of the world in which this is set, and yet also a little bit behind as well. Um, like the obviously they've got a lot of AI and smart speakers and things like that, which definitely feels much more advanced than what we currently have with like your Google Dots or your I'm not going to say because she will bark at me. The idea that you can go on it and say like, I want to, what was it like? I want to see such and such as internet search history, which is the kind of thing that you think probably is a thing that you probably can do to a certain degree, but you probably got to know how to do it. But that felt like it's taking something that which is very intricate way of being able to do that and kind of really dumbing it down and making it much easier, much more accessible, which in reality is probably something that is likely to happen in the future anyway. We're probably going to get to this point. The whole what was it like the sort of filter thing. I mean, obviously we're already there with your things like your TikToks and your Snapchats and stuff like that. I mean, I remember when Snapchat thing, and literally pretty much every time you took a photo, it would annoy me that I'd be seeing that all the time. Even I'd see it on dating profiles. Like, I'd go on like Tinder or Bumble or whatever, and literally someone's picture would be literally them with like the dog ears and the dog mouth and everything. I'm like, in what universe are you trying to attract a man, a woman, or whatever, by having that as your profile picture? Like it baffles me. But I think that's the whole point in this, that we've got like three different generations of this family that have, four actually, four different generations. Um, and they're all very different, and they think and see things in different ways. Like the kids, they're very much technology based. which is definitely how it is. I'm seeing it with my nephew. Like, he's 5, and already he probably can do stuff and understand stuff more than I do. And this is coming from someone who is reasonably well informed of technology, and I can do a lot of things. Sometimes I have to work it out how to do it, but I can usually get there. And then you have the other generations that it's obviously it was way before their time, and so they think and they see and interact with things in very different ways. I think it is very deliberately done that one of the children is half Chinese. I think that is going to play a major part in this storyline moving forward with this whole America/China kind of thing. I think it's definitely going to come into play. Maybe there's going to be some not genocide. That's not the right word. I can't think of the right word, but it's almost like he's going to be targeted. The family are going to be targeted for the fact that she's got a Chinese son. Possibly it's going to be, China is doing this, China doing that, whatever, and they're going to target him. Maybe kids at school bully him. Maybe people on the street are xenophobic. Maybe is that the right word? Yeah, xenophobic. That might be what I'm thinking of. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that kind of comes into play there. Interesting that they actually put Trump in, and that Trump is supposedly the one who's done this. And I find that interesting because a lot of time in a lot of these programs, if they're going to do something with a prime minister, a president, or whatever, they're going to do it with a fictional version because they don't want to put anything on the real life person. But there's a lot of real life people sort of within this, which again is going to be interesting. Although I believe this Vivian Rook is obviously going to be someone who, again, comes into play insanely hard. And I mean, great casting, I think, to get Emma Thompson. Wow, because she's a great person. The stuff at the start I found really interesting. And again, the differences of opinions within it, because you have her going basically about, the stuff that's happening in Gaza, in Palestine, blah, blah, blah. I don't give a fuck. I understand that viewpoint. Whether or not it's the right, viewpoint to have is another matter. But I think there are a lot of people out there who will be of that opinion going, in actual fact, why should I be caring about a country and what's happening that are hundreds and hundreds of miles away? How is it affecting me? From a humanitarian point of view, I can understand how people will be like, it is an atrocity. You don't want people, in an ideal world, we want everyone to be happy and safe and all this kind of stuff. But I understand the viewpoint that some people have. Whether or not I agree with it is another matter entirely, but I understand where people come from going, in actual fact, I've got to worry about the rising cost of inflation, my rising cost in my mortgage, being able to put food on the table, making sure that my children have a good education and blah, 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 all this kind of different stuff. I understand how that will be, for some people, that is going to be their focus. And so what's happening in another country isn't at the highest list of their priorities. And so when people are talking about the Ukraine-Russia war or the Gaza-Palestine thing or any of those kind of things, I understand how people won't see that as an immediate priority until it gets to the point that it starts to affect them. And that is what I have a feeling we're going to see in the coming episodes, that actually these kind of things are going to start to impact people in different ways. So I think I will obviously give a proper roundup at the end of the show when I do eventually complete it, but I think at an initial starting off point, I think this show has hooked me. I like the dynamics with all the different characters. I think some of the characters are very well written. Some of them at the moment is very much, it's a bit of a cliche, but I'm willing to see where it is. The one thing that I really did find interesting was that whole trans discussion. And I definitely think that first aspect of it the parents going, yes, I'm fully accepting. If you want to be a boy, then I'm absolutely fine with it. We will love you. We will, we're not going to do anything, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. That is the absolutely right attitude to have. Then when she twists it and she goes, I don't want to be transsexual. I want to be transhuman. And then the way that they sort of twist on it, particularly the mum, going, over my dead body, and you're not going to do that kind of stuff. that for me comes from a position of a lack of understanding. And I think that we're at a point that most people are able to be understanding if their child were to say, I want to be transsexual, or I want to be non-binary, or whatever. Because our knowledge is increasing, people are more open to being understanding. I think the reaction that the mum gave about the whole transhuman thing, that comes from a lack of understanding. And so it's that almost that initial response is to go on the defensive, to go on the attack, to be no, this is not happening, because she doesn't understand it. In theory, if she were then to research it, to understand it, maybe she could come on board with it. But at the initial moment, it's something that's beyond our comprehensibility. Is that the right word? I'm losing the mindset today, so please forgive me on that one. But yeah, I think that's where that kind of comes from. And obviously then right at the end, that fear of going, oh my God, what's going to happen? Are we going to die? That's that, again, that emotional response going, you can be whatever you want to be. I don't care. I just love you. Because I think, maybe this is, maybe we're literally going to die in a minute or two. And I don't want things to be, to be bad between us. I don't want us to die having had, these horrible things and unresolved issues. I think they're not resolved, and I think they are going to come back into play in the future. But like I said, we're going to see. So, as I understand it, this show takes place over a number of years, so I'm expecting a few more time jumps. So it's going to be really, really interesting. I'm really, really intrigued to see what happens next. So, drop your comments below. Obviously, do not give me any spoilers. But let me know what your thoughts are of this, of some of the themes, the characters, everything in this episode. And we will be back with another episode of Years and Years in the future. But until then, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and consider supporting me on Patreon. So my name is Kevin, I am a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.